there's that. And I guess next up on the deck is us talking on our adventure, huh, Frank?
Start it off.
All right. So I had a surgery appointment at the VA hospital, and I always have a driver take me back because I'm not always in the best shape to drive back, and Dick was back east in his underground bunker. Usually accompanies me over there, so Frank volunteered, and I was excited to obviously have Frank share the event at the VA hospital. If nobody's ever been to one of the biggest things that's just a big shocker is all the vets that are sitting in the waiting rooms all talking to each other, trying to help each other. It was incredible. You go to a hospital, nobody talks to anybody. You just sit there in silence. But these vets are great. They're all trying to help each other. Pretty amazing. Well, Frank, why don't you chime in on that part? That was...
Yes, yeah. It's my first time I had been there, and we were on the third floor of the VA hospital in a waiting room. And obviously we were not alone, but there was a camaraderie, and I thought they were all best friends. I said, wow, all these best friends had the appointment on the same day at the same time. and they weren't. They had, the common bond was that they were veterans who had served their country. Some were in wheelchairs, some needed caregivers, some walked a little bit slower than others, but they all had something. They had that bond with each other, and they all, I don't want to over-exaggerate it, but they all cared for each other. And one guy brought his grandson, and his grandson was there with his granddad. That's after you went into the room, Peter. And I looked at the kid's expression, and he was a nice kid, and he obviously very proud of his granddad. It was more than I expected to see in terms of camaraderie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just amazing. So Frank's driving and I'm riding shotgun and we're going down the freeway, and all of a sudden Frank's moving to the right, and man, cop cars after cop car, groups of cop cars, police cars of every make and model going past us and forcing us over, and I'm thinking, wow, where are they going? Right? Frank and I just talk. We just keep going.
Yeah.
We come off on Mountain View, and I look to the left, and there's a stream of traffic, bumper to bumper, almost all the way up the street. We're going the opposite direction. Almost nobody's going our way. Everybody's trying to get out of town. We're going into town. And again, it's like, well, that's really odd, but whatever. I'm thinking, I hope that whole line is gone by the time we get done. And we get to the hospital. We find a place to park, which again was a kind of an amazing event. Can never find a place to park. We just drove right into one. We get out and we're walking up towards the emergency room entryway. And this guy stops us and says, we're in lockdown, you have to use the main entrance. Okay, whatever. So we're walking along, and Frank says, and Frank's never been in the military or the police, and he goes, isn't that like a military or police term, lockdown? I go, yeah, it is, and I don't know why they're in lockdown, but whatever. And we get to the lobby. I have not seen so many people in that lobby ever. I mean, it was like standing crowd. And I told Frank to get in behind me, follow me, don't lose me, get on my six, let's go. And we wander our way through that. We get up to the clinic, we check in, sit down, and within minutes, this doctor comes out. And he throws his hands open to both Frank and I. We're sitting in the front row kind of thing. He goes, we're in total lockdown. We can't get in and we can't get out. And he's staring at us like, we're going to fix that? What the hell's he talking about? And off he goes. I mean, he was really freaked out. And then I couldn't get any cell service. Frank had cell service, so we watched the terrorist event go down, which is several blocks away.
Police vehicles from multiple agencies going different areas. Now we're going eastbound on San Bernardino, we believe it is. We're trying to get ahead of this to see what we've got here. We've got multiple officers here. We've got officers running here, back eastbound, chasing. Now we're on foot. Look at all those units here. Yeah. This is where a suspect is at. They've got units here. They're all proned out. And now we've got the vehicle here. We've got the suspect. Okay, that's kind of, okay, we've got a very graphic situation here. We've got a black SUV. Wow. We've got a long rifle in the street. You can see that there is blood. There's been the suspect is down. Right now, that's going to be as wide as we're going to get it. But you can see there's a black SUV in the center of the vehicle. We're going to get a street for you in a second. This is on the east-west street right here. You can see officers with long guns here, all pointing down, eastbound down this street, which we'll get for a second. Again, a black SUV, uncertain if this is the suspect. You can see tactical teams moving up the sidewalk, looking for positions of advantage right now. Again, the suspect is down. They don't know if additional suspects are in that car. That's where you see those tactical teams moving eastbound, and we're going to come over here moving eastbound up the sidewalk, trying to find a position of advantage. We're going to come back out. That scene that we showed you earlier, again, that might have been the scene where we have, again, not confirmed right now, but there is a possible officer injured that has not been confirmed. We saw several officers standing over that downed person who looked as if they were wearing a bulletproof vest.
And that's why we're in lockdown, because of the terrorists shot up San Bernardino where we're at. So anyway, they call me in. I get into the doctor's office, and I'm going to be opportunistic here, because if they can't get in the hospital, then she doesn't have any more clients. So we can do a whole lot more stuff than we had planned. Can you look at this? Can you do this? And I'm telling the doctor, I said, you're not going to have any more clients this afternoon, so I'm it. Lucky you. Let's do this. Let's look at that. Can you see this? Can you do? And she goes, I'm not going to have any more clients. I said, well, not if we're in lockdown, you're not. She goes, I haven't heard. So she opens the door and goes out, and out on the hallway right there with some other veterans talking about the lockdown. And I said, hey, guys, we need to formulate a plan to defend the hospital. And I said, I don't know why they haven't evacuated the first floor and disabled the elevators, and then force terrorists into a stairwell, which is a choke point, and we can take them at that point. Oh, yeah. I said, you guys got liquid nitrogen here? Which I know they do. Yes. Get those dewars, they're called dewars, get those dewars ready to rock and roll. What do you do with that? Well, you throw it on them, particularly their eyes, smack their eyes, they break out like marbles. They can't see anything. Done deal. Okay. Do you have IV poles? Yes, they make great bow staffs. And, so I'm starting to get them to think like weapons of opportunity. Now, you think about it, they were all ready to figure out how to defend the hospital and attack the terrorists, not run away. It would have been the biggest mistake for the terrorists to attack a VA facility. People with wheelchairs would be rolling at them, and people would try. I mean, these are guys that are trained to run towards the bullets, not away from them. And so the doctor comes back in. She's white as a sheet. She's freaked out, and so I get a lot of procedures done, and then I can actually see we're at the third floor. I can see the I-10 out there is now moving again where it wasn't. It was dead still there for a while, or very compacted anyway. They had it shut down, one exit down, and so I thought, okay, we can get out of here. And I'm watching, and nobody's leaving. So when I get done, I tell Frank, come on, we're leaving. Just follow me. So strategically what I had to do is there was a set of cops outside the door, and as soon as they engaged somebody who was coming up and got in an argument, out we went. I said, Frank, don't stop. We got to walk with purpose. Don't look back. Don't stop. We're walking out of here, which is exactly what we did, got in the car and came home.
That's true.
So what do you think of all that, Frank?
Well, I was, again, after you went in, I had cell service. My wife is about an hour and a half, hour and 3/4 away where we live. And she's texting me, oh, I just heard, are you okay? And I said, yeah, we're a few blocks away. I said, we're at the VA hospital. I said, then I said two things. One I knew I was going to say, and one it hit me was I was texting her. I said, number one, we're on the third floor. I was three things. Number one, we're on the third floor, so they have to get to us up on the third floor. Number two, we're surrounded by police officers and security people. And then the third thing hit me as I was texting her, and I says, plus, I'm surrounded by veterans. I said, I can't be in a safer place. I'm in the safest place in this whole area because we're on the third floor, surrounded by security and police people, and I'm surrounded by veterans. I said, I'm okay. And that's how I felt, Peter. I felt quite comfortable and quite safe up on the third floor.
Yeah, I think, well, it was heartfelt to see other veterans planning a stand.
Yeah.
And not trying to run away. And it was actually, I got the sense that we would battle each other to be in the front line, to get a position on the front of the line.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was pretty unique to be caught up in that whole mess. And for those who didn't follow it that closely, between the initial terrorist shooting and them getting shot up, there were 4 hours. And they obviously were planning another attack because they wore masks. You don't wear masks if you're planning to commit suicide.
Right.
So it's very clear that and we were 2 blocks away basically, and where better for them to think about attacking than veterans, than to hit veterans. But that would be their largest single mistake they would ever make. So interesting day. Dick, what did you think about all of that when we told you?
Well, it's funny because it's not funny with the terrorist attack, because we heard, my wife heard it, and I hadn't. I was out and I come in, and she told me that, and I said, "Oh Jesus, Peter and Frank are around the corner from that." And then I think I text you, and you must be, you got a couple texts out. You told me you're on lockdown and all that, and. I, not being there, but I said similar things to my wife. I said, they probably couldn't be in a safer place, because it's really well guarded, and you got a hospital full of guys who have fought for this country. They're not going to go in there, and if they do, they're going to get defeated very quickly. So, but it's just I think of our trips in there, Peter, and it seems like each one of them have a little bit of a different twist, but this was the most bizarre one going. So
yeah, well, they wouldn't do my surgery because of the lockdown situation, so that'll get rescheduled. But what an adventure, huh, Frank? And you didn't have any idea what you're getting into.
No, I did, and interesting because I picked you up at 11 o'clock. We left your place at 11 o'clock, which is when the shooting started. But we didn't have the radio on. We had no idea where we were going. I mean, we knew where we were going. We didn't know what we were going to face when we got there, because we talked all the way. We didn't have anybody on radio. So and then when we saw the traffic going away from the hospital, and then when we saw the parking lot wasn't over, as you said, you have to drop me off and go 3 blocks. There was not. I said, well, we found a space. Here it is. There were 2 or 3 spaces open. And then when we walked in, we still didn't know what was going on. Talk about the ignorant, the blind. And then it's only when we got to the 3rd floor that because they had a TV on in the waiting room, but they had TV land. They had
which they always do.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. It wasn't a news to show you that the news was. They had old reruns of black and white TV shows. And I said,
it was Bonanza. I think they had Bonanza on, Gunsmoke, something like that.
Right, Gunsmoke. That's what it was. It was a cowboy show. And so we still didn't know what was going on until that doctor came out and said, "Whoa."
And he was funny too. He threw his hands out. Right, we're in total lockdown. Can't get in. Can't get out. And he just stood there looking at us like we could fix it. That was the thing that boggled my mind. Is that, what the hell are you standing here telling us that for? And he was freaked. Remember, he ran out. He ran stage right. I don't know where he was running to, but he was booking.
Yeah, that parking lot should have been the first tip. Last time I took Cy in, who's our DAV commander, 94-year-old World War II vet, and I dropped him off, and it took me 25 minutes to find a parking spot, and I finally just had to go sit in the corner and wait for somebody to leave. So that should have been the first tip. So, but it's always something, Frank. I went in one time with Peter. I think his appointment was at 11 o'clock or 12, what it was, and it's supposed to be a quick 1-hour procedure. Well, at 5:30, I'm sitting in the waiting room. I finally found a doctor. He said, "Can you tell me if my friend's okay in there?" He's in there for 4.5 hours. There's always something in that waiting room. Did you get? One of the things that I found interesting going there and with Peter is sitting in the waiting room and listening and talking to the vets in there. They're a remarkable group of people. They really are. They just. They think what they've done for our country, and there's a camaraderie there that it doesn't matter what service or whatever, but you're one of them. So that's really quite a place.
Yeah, there's a bond that exists, and obviously I don't have that bond because I didn't serve in the army in the armed forces, but you could tell it was there, and it's a bond that can't be broken.
No.
It's very, very, very. I'll tell you, it was heartwarming. It was heartwarming.
Yeah. And most of the doctors that service us, they do treat us very, very well. Typically, they honor us quite a bit. It's not your standard doctor-patient relationship. They do really try, at least at that facility. Yeah. They do really try. Are they perfect? Of course not. But they are certainly very cordial to you and friendly and honor you for the service that you've given to our great country. And I don't know if you know this, guys, but less than 3% of our nation serves.
I didn't realize that was a figure. No.
Yeah, 3%. Yeah, it's a low number in comparison to the rest of the population. So that bond becomes even more and more special, I think.
Yeah.
So, all right, guys. Anything else?
That's it.
All right.
I think we covered it.
Say goodnight, Dick.